ticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Ben Droz, your host as always from 11 to 12 on the DN Show, and I'm joined here first time by Danny. Danny, what's up?
Hi Ben, how you doing?
I'm doing great. First time we've had Danny on the show. He does sports engagement.
Hi guys, I do sports engagement.
He all the Twitter posts for sports on the DN site. On the DN's Twitter page.
90%, I'd say.
It's mostly Danny.
So if you get mad at me for anything, you can send it right to my email and nobody else. Don't send it to Ben. Don't send it to Joseph. Don't send it to Anthony. Send it to my inbox.
I'm not even high enough level to have access to the DN Twitter yet. So.
Well, I can't control for you. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So Danny, welcome into the show.
Great to be here.
Glad we were able to get you on because I know you know a lot about sports. So
I try my best.
Yes, I like your Twitter bio page.
Yeah,
the bio of your Twitter.
I think I should read it out for our audience that's listening. Okay, let's go for it. So starting from the top, it says, "No, I am not from Naperville. I am from Chicago. I have my class year, and then I have my takes are my own and probably wrong in parentheses, close parentheses, anti-wave." And then other things, all my involvements.
I love it. I love it, Danny. See, that's more creative than mine. I just have like my positions and that's it.
I was kind of going with like a Jason Benetti vibe with his 2 truths and a lie, but it felt like all of them were true since he's basically made 3 trips around the world in this industry.
Yeah.
Something different.
You see, and you got to be different because I'm just probably like I just look like some random guy on Twitter. And when I look at your bio, I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Because I was watching baseball tonight. I was watching Cubs Rangers.
I'm a Cubs fan as well.
Let's go. So we got City Connect is today. We're repping Joe Obvious shirts in Wrigleyville. Watching that game, and I see the foul tip from Miles Mastrobuoni off his bat. Jonah Heim is protesting with the umpire like, it's a foul ball. It's a foul ball. He doesn't chase after it, and guys are flying around the bases. Cubs took the lead in the 9th inning. Ultimately, it didn't matter as Jonah Heim got his revenge in the 10th inning, which was ball don't lie. But that's what I was like, kind of, and I go and I'm like, first I go, whoa, and all caps, and then I was like, youngsters, you could learn something from this.
You're saying youngsters?
I said youngsters.
How old are you, Danny?
19.
That's the same age as me. So we haven't been on this earth for that long.
No. It'll be 2 decades pretty soon.
I know. For me, it's in May. I'm looking forward to it.
Mine's December.
Ooh, that's a late birthday.
Yeah, I get that tough Christmas, New Year's Eve right in there. But the one I've had 2 great things though is that I never have school on my birthday, and the running joke that I've always had is that my birthday's never next year.
Yeah,
it's a brain thinker. And before we get to anything else, I think this is kind of important. We just had a 1 seed go down in March Madness. Yeah. North Carolina just fell to 4 seed at Alabama.
I don't know how. I mean, I got to be honest. I don't know how they lost to Alabama. I think Alabama's going to lose to Clemson next round. I'm being serious.
You really think Clemson's going to the Final Four?
In my second chance bracket, I picked Clemson. I had them losing first round in my regular bracket, but see, the one thing that makes me confident about it is they beat Baylor. That's a very good offensive team. Don't play too much defense. They beat Arizona, again, a really good offensive team. They play a little bit more defense, but still mostly an offensive team. Now they're going to play Alabama, same thing. I think Clemson has found Clemson knows how to win this kind of a matchup against a high octane offense. And that's why I'm confident.
Whoever they play is going to be great. And maybe I'm just not seeing things right. Looks like it's just about over. There was some free throws late that UNC was missing, and then someone missed it. I'm trying to follow along. I don't have the game pulled up. I'm following along on stat broadcast. But
same.
Offensive rebound from Alabama, and I think it's just about over. It's looking like it. We'll get that. We'll get that back in a little bit.
We'll get that in like 30 seconds, probably.
Probably, but then I want to talk a little bit about UConn. No, Total domination.
UConn is the best team. I've said this from the jump. They are the best team in the nation, and I picked them to win it all because they're the best team in the nation. I understand that teams don't like. There's not a good history for teams being the number 1 ranked team and trying to go for back-to-back. There's not a good history of that.
No. If you're a 1 seed, you have a decent chance to go to the Final Four, but the odds are stacked against you to win the whole thing. And I don't even remember the last time we had all the 1s and all the 2s make it to the Sweet 16, because last year we had like a bunch get knocked off in the first weekend, and there was like 5s, 8s, 6s. There was all these random numbers in there.
I saw the year. It was like some early 2000 or something, I think. So it doesn't happen very often. This has been a very chalky tournament, which is why I'm glad that Clemson and now Alabama are winning. See, this is what's funny to me. Is because I'm gonna go a little weird here. So
I like weird. Let's go for it.
So when my family has a bracket, we have a bracket pool. Okay. Right now my sister's bracket's doing the best, and she had Clemson going to the Elite 8, and she has Alabama in the finals.
Wow.
And the only reason is because their football teams are good.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So
that'll do it.
Yeah, she hasn't watched like a wick of basketball besides Nebraska. She's watched all the Nebraska games, but nothing like outside of that.
You know, SEC
and she in her bracket's better than me.
SEC basketball has really like taken a step up. In the glory days of like Kentucky, it was like Kentucky versus everybody else, and now here comes Alabama. Nate Oates comes in, and he's just resurged the program, making Sweet 16s the last 2 years, and they've been really, really good since 2020. Tennessee has been a thorn in people's sides. Arkansas has been up and down. Mississippi State, getting back in the tournament this year. Kentucky resurging again after they had a down year 2 years ago. And now they're like this really high-powered league that's competing with the Big 12 with quality of teams.
Yeah.
And the Big 12 almost had, 9 teams in the tournament? Oklahoma was the first team out this year?
Yeah. I think one of, I think. So, I mean, yeah. What was funny is at the beginning of the tournament, everyone's like, "Oh, SEC's not doing too well." They've turned it up as of late.
Big time.
Definitely. Big Ten. Illinois, as we speak right now, is up by 2 against Iowa State. And this again, like this game, in my opinion, just really doesn't matter because neither one of these teams are going to beat UConn. I don't care. I don't care, especially if it's Iowa State. I just don't think Iowa State's a good basketball team. I'm sorry. I'm a D1 hater. I'm a D1 hater. I don't like Iowa State. I don't think they're that good.
So
and
then
yet everyone thinks they're good.
So then what does that say for Houston then, who got manhandled by them in the Big 12 championship? Do you think that was just like a fluke game, or was Iowa State like actually showing us something there?
Every team gets lucky at some point. I just don't think Iowa State's that good.
That's fair.
I just don't. They don't know how to put the ball in the hoop. They just don't. I get they're a very good defensive team. I get that. Maybe the best in the country.
And this is the weird thing about Illinois too. And, you know, I'm with you. And the Alabama-North Carolina game just went final. Bama did win 89-87. That sets up a crazy game in
Alabama.
LA.
Who would have thought Alabama against Clemson in NCAA basketball? Clemson, Alabama.
Can we like get Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney private jets to Crypto.com Arena? Like that would be awesome.
It would be.
Just having them sit at the scorer's table. Nick Saban's got his wine on his right. Dabo's on his left. And Dabo's just screaming from the top of his lungs. And at some point, he's going to burst out from behind the scorer's table and start sprinting, trying to find Howard's Rock.
Yeah.
You probably would at some point. But going back to this Illinois-Iowa State game, and, you know, being from Chicago, I listen to a lot of Chicago sports talk, and obviously a lot of Illini faithful are in the Chicago area. So one of the stations that I listen to has these Illini beat writers come on all the time. And one thing that was consistent is that with these writers is that Illinois just finds themselves not playing defense in the first half. And then Brad Underwood's got to go in the locker room, start screaming at people, and like, you guys got to go play defense, or we're going to lose this game. Double-digit deficits at halftime in every game of the Big Ten tournament. And for a little while in the first couple of rounds, they were looking pretty vulnerable.
Yeah.
They were playing, what was it, McNeese State in the first round? They were playing one of the 14 seeds.
Iowa. No, who was Illinois playing in the first round? No, it was Morehead.
Morehead. It was one of the M states.
Gonzaga played McNeese.
That's right. But Morehead State was playing toe-to-toe with Illinois for a while.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't think that a mid-major team like Morehead State would be able to go up against the likes of Terrence Shannon, Marcus Damask, these guys that
super
are
talented team.
Exactly. Like this is probably Illinois' best chance to make a run at a title.
They won't do it.
They're not going to do it, but this on paper, this is the best team that's going to give them that chance. Now, there's no way that they're going to be able to beat UConn with the way they're rolling right now. I mean, 91-52 against Stetson, 75-58 against Northwestern, 82-52 against San Diego State. And we know that San Diego State is pretty decent for a group of 5 team.
They just lost to UConn by 30.
But that's my point. Like UConn is that much above everyone else.
So if Illinois beats Iowa State, which they should, they're the better team, but it's a really close game as we speak right now. I think the fact if they win, they got to the Elite Eight. That's about as good of a season as you can expect for a team like Illinois, especially when they got a bad draw, having being in the same division, being in the same region as UConn. Like it just didn't matter. You could put any team in that region. No one's making it out because UConn's in that region.
The only way that UConn doesn't come out of this region as the regional champions is if somehow they find themselves a way to shoot themselves in the foot and then decide, I haven't had enough shots in my foot. I want to feel that pain a little bit more.
They just won't do that there. They're such a well-coached team. Dan
Hurley's a fantastic coach.
He's such a well-coached team, so talented. They don't mess up. They have a lot of experience. And they're just so good. Like I literally all you have to do is just watch them. Stop listening to us. Just watch UConn play.
Yeah, what are you doing listening to us? Go watch UConn.
Yeah, just watch UConn play. They're literally just the best basketball team of all time. I think it's funny that anyone picked against them in March Madness.
Can we talk about how Illinois and Iowa State are playing at 11-12 p.m.?
That's central.
Aren't they playing in Boston? It's after midnight.
True. I forgot it is on. Wait. No, because isn't East? Am I stupid or is East on? East is an hour behind.
East is an hour ahead.
I'm at. It's 11 o'clock. My brain's not functioning.
It's late, Ben. But like, really, we're having these guys play at past midnight. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one. I'm the cynical one here, but
no one cares about this game. I'm sorry. Just no one cares because they're playing UConn. I'm saying the most exciting game out of all these Sweet 16 games is going to be the Alabama-North Carolina game was a good game.
That game's going to be nuts.
That was a good game, but I'm just saying the Tennessee-Creighton game, that is the best game out of all the Sweet 16 games. Said that yesterday, said it the day before. I'm saying it today.
I was watching this before I got here tonight. There was a video that was circulating on social media where someone was going through the Tennessee locker room trying to figure out if the Tennessee players knew where Creighton was. So they had a whiteboard map. Picture like those little 4x6 whiteboards that you used in grade school. And it had an outline of the U.S. on it with all the states on there. So they handed the guys the marker and we're like, pick out where Creighton is on the map. So they were getting responses like they circled Minnesota, North Dakota. A couple guys got Omaha, Nebraska, right? Like some people know their geolocations, but like other guys just all over the place.
Can we get a little off topic?
Go for it.
We don't teach geography enough in schools. I'm sorry.
No, we don't.
We don't. I honestly there's so many places there was what was it? When someone was like talking about Oklahoma and I was like, guys, I got to be honest. I don't even know if you'd give me a map. I don't know how well I'd be able to guess where Oklahoma is.
Do you know where Gonzaga is? Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I just don't care where they are. I just know they're good.
It's in Spokane, which is Northwest. But yes, they are good. And that's going to be a fun game,
I don't know geography. No one taught me geography in school. We didn't get any. It was supposed to be like a part of history. But
well, I guess your teachers just did you dirty, I guess. Anyway, that's
Nebraska education.
Well, I can't help you with that one.
No, I literally I just don't know any. I know where Nebraska is and some other states. Everything else is kind of John or Blake. No, I know most of the states, but
So how about this? Let's get the train rolling in. This Purdue-Gonzaga game.
Gonzaga's going to win.
State your case.
State my case.
I want to hear this.
Gonzaga is so underrated. I'm going to make the same case as yesterday. Gonzaga is the most underrated team in the tournament outside of Clemson. When I saw when the Sweet 16 was finalized, I saw there was the March Madness Twitter page posted like someone's rankings of all the Sweet 16 teams. They had Gonzaga ranked number 11. That's ridiculous. They had Iowa State above Gonzaga.
So
Gonzaga is a very good team. Only reason, and it's the seeding. It's the number next to their name of why people don't think they're good. The only reason they have that number is because they were playing like crap early in the season. I don't care.
Oh, they were playing horrible.
I don't care how they were playing in November or December. I don't. I care about how they're playing right now. And right now, they're one of the best basketball teams in the nation.
And that's the thing about like some of these teams. Let's think about like teams that have had low seeds in years past. The greatest, I think, case study is UCLA in the 2021 tournament.
That was crazy.
When they went from the first four, and I think they were the last team in that year. If not, they were like the second to last team in, and got all the way to the Final Four and went toe-to-toe with, I want to say that was Gonzaga that they were playing in the Final Four.
They lost the Jalen Suggs mid-court shot.
That was the one. But the fact that they were able to steamroll their way through and going through all of these teams that clearly on paper
they didn't steamroll Michigan, but
they didn't steamroll Michigan, but they pretty much everyone else they did. But on paper, they were not a team that you would have gotten that deep.
No,
you didn't really think they would make it out of the first weekend, let alone make it out of the round of 64.
Yeah,
and here they are working the way all the way to the Final Four. But I'm with you with Gonzaga being a 5 seed. That really doesn't matter once you get in the tournament. Working your way through the end of that West Coast Conference schedule, which, by the way, is not very strong. It's Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and everybody else. There's not much there.
I had St. Mary's in my Final Four.
Ooh.
So that hurt. But, I wanted a random team in there. But
still, okay, that's fair.
I just think Gonzaga is just like, this is actually a really good Gonzaga team, just as good as years past. And it's just the number next to their team name that makes it why people aren't picking them. I get Purdue steamrolled Utah State, steamrolled the matchup before. I don't even know who they played in the first round.
Rambling State.
See, I just don't care. I get they steamrolled those two teams, but I think Gonzaga, their interior play is just so good. Like, they're so good.
That's going to be a really fun matchup.
I know it is going to be a fun matchup. I think Edie's been playing really good, but I don't know, man. There's just something about Gonzaga and something about Purdue's history. That I just don't. I think it's
you have a hard time picking against. You have a hard time picking for Purdue this late into the tournament, considering how they've played, and then you make the same argument. And I know this is distant ways away, but the Tom Izzo argument. They're a 9 seed this year. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, why are they in the tournament?" They had a really good second half of the season. They earned their way in. But I heard this really great analogy that I think makes a lot of sense. If you think you have to add an extra round for Tom Izzo, if you think he's going to get knocked out in the first round, he's making it to the second round. That's just the Tom Izzo effect and how he's been able to manage this time of the year for his guys. And while the long-term success hasn't always been there, you can always count on him to at least get a win in the tournament.
Yeah. Michigan State's been really good, but I don't know. Do you believe in Purdue? Are you believing it? I mean, they ran through their first two opponents.
But Grambling State comes from the Southwest Athletic Conference. They were a first 4 team, one of the lower 16 seeds. Utah State, an 8 seed. That game with TCU was pretty tight for a while before Utah State pulled away. And then
TCU was ranked pretty good in KenPom.
Yes. And Utah State, I didn't really feel like Utah State stood a chance against Purdue. It looked that way from Jump Street. Now you come into the Sweet 16 game where Gonzaga, they play like they're a Power 5 team. and a good Power 5 team at that, even though they're in the West Coast Conference, which I think is going to get a little bit more stability next year with Oregon State and Washington State coming in, might add a little bit more relevancy to that conference. But when you go off of Purdue's history and how they flailed at this time of the year, I don't know how you can not think Gonzaga is going to pull this one out. But at the same time, it's got to end eventually, right?
No,
like this can't continue.
It doesn't have to. No,
do you just not want it to end?
They can. Well, this may be my bias, but still, I mean, there's some streaks are just not meant to be ended. Some things are just in this world, Danny. The three things I can count on is death, taxes, and Purdue being bad in the NCAA tournament. Those are the three things I can count on, and I am going to continue to say that Gonzaga is going to beat Purdue. I don't care. I don't care if they make it to the Final Four. I really don't. I still just don't think. Like, even if they get to the Final Four, they probably play like Tennessee or Creighton. I would still pick against them. I'm going to pick against them in every game.
Fair enough.
Until they show me they can do it, and if they show in this tournament they make it to like Final Four or the championship game, I'll maybe start believing them in that again.
But
they're in the Sweet 16 right now.
That's like what I'm trying to get at though too. Like this year, I don't think you pick for Purdue. I think you pick Gonzaga. But if Purdue starts to get the train rolling, and somehow make unintended puns. That was not intentional. By the way, Illinois leads 64-60 with 100 seconds left. If Purdue somehow makes a run at this, and then makes noise in these final couple rounds, then maybe like, okay, yeah, something's here. But here's another thing that I wanted to pose at you. Kansas with Bill Self and company getting slaughtered by Gonzaga, 21 points. That was an 89-68 win last weekend. What does this mean for the program? Because I know to Kansas, like, is this like the end of, like, is this the start of the end for the Jayhawks, or is this just like, this is a disappointing end? We've seen this road before.
I think they just dealt with a lot of injuries. I don't think you can. I don't know. They'll probably run everything back, and they probably won't be good again next year. But they had some bad. Like, they were actually a pretty good team. They just had bad injury luck, in my opinion. They ran themselves into the ground. They ran themselves down. I think we need to have that discussion more with Kentucky.
I don't know if
Kansas has had more success in the tournament as of late than Kentucky.
How can you trust Kentucky at all in the tournament anymore?
No, I'm done picking Purdue in the tournament. I don't care. They're in the Sweet 16. I'm done picking Purdue. I'm done picking Auburn, and I'm done picking Kentucky. All those teams suck in the tournament.
All right. Can we go over to the South region real quick? Houston and Duke, NC State, Marquette. Is this finally the year that Marquette gets to the Elite Eight? Like, are we actually believing in Shaka Smart?
Yeah, NC State's had a pretty good run, but I think everyone is like discrediting their win against Colorado. Colorado's a good team. Okay.
Oh yeah,
they were a good team. We saw how good they played against Florida. This is a good team. And the fact that Marquette was able to close that game out gave me confidence that they can beat this NC State team. NC State, I get Oakland beat Kentucky, but it took them overtime to beat Oakland. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't care. They can beat Kentucky 100 times. I still don't think Oakland's a good basketball team.
No, not at all.
They just got lucky from the 3-point line in one game.
Jack Goki.
So I still don't. I get like NC State won the ACC, but Marquette, I trust them enough to be able to pull this game out at least. They'll probably lose next round to either Duke or Houston. Whoever comes out of that, Duke or Houston, or that's the team that's going to win this region. Either one, whoever wins that game is winning the region. I don't think Marquette beats either of those teams. But
who do you got winning that one?
Houston. I don't think Duke plays defense.
No, I don't think so either.
I think Houston's defense should be enough to stop Duke's offense, but their offense has been really good, so it scares me a little bit. But my championship pick at the beginning of the year was Houston, UConn, with UConn winning. It's still UConn winning with Houston in the championship. Like, it hasn't changed. Those are the two best teams in the nation. And that game against Texas A&M reinforced that for me, because Texas A&M, that's a good team. They were a good team. like Texas A&M, when a team like that is hitting from the 3-point line, that is a dangerous team. And the fact that Houston was able to hold on and win that game shows me that this could be Houston's year. I think Houston's the only team that could challenge UConn. Being honest, I don't think anyone else can challenge them.
I'm with you. I mean, I was fever dream. You would think North Carolina would give them a run for their money, but after the performance today, obviously they're not in it anymore. But
they can't physically do that.
UConn basically has punched their ticket to the championship game. I know we're going out on a limb here, but they're either going to play Illinois or Iowa State, and I would take UConn in that. And then you're playing either Alabama or Clemson. Now, obviously, these are two pretty hot teams. But can they stack up against UConn?
I mean, Alabama's offense would just have to click on all cylinders. Like any team that's going to beat UConn is going to have their best game of the season.
They would have to have no mistakes. But that's the thing, that this year, I don't know if I trust Alabama to do that.
I don't trust any Alabama basketball team ever to do that. It's Alabama basketball. They play fast.
That's the Nate Oates way.
I mean, and they're fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely.
In March, I don't trust them that much. But hey, guess what?
Here's UConn.
They're in the Elite Eight. But with that, we got to throw it to break. We come back. We're going to get some MLB talk because opening day, he just touched his hat if you couldn't hear or see. So we're going to talk about MLB opening day next segment right here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Old School with DP and J.
So I knew that it was a crapshoot with the grown-up professionals at the highest level. Who's going to bet? I don't know whether the starting center's girlfriend broke up with him, whether his parents have groceries that week. I don't know whether his roommate and him had a fight. So why would I want to bet on that?
93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Chris Jackmick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackmick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Take your internet service to new levels with Allo, your award-winning internet provider across our fiber hoods. Allo isn't just about the fastest internet available. It's about connecting you to your world, work, and play seamlessly. Our award-winning service ensures affordable, secure, and reliable connectivity, setting us apart. Ready to transform your internet experience? Experience the fiber difference today. Sign up now at allofiber.com. Allo, connecting your world.
This is how we do every day. We be grinding, and if you want to come and text us,
if you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music.
This is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats. Dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people. Small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Sip, we had dinner that night. Yeah, you did seem a little rattled, not terribly, but a little.
So
he doesn't relax very well.
No,
he does. Jake's not very relaxed.
This did come up during the game when things weren't going well. I'm in agony. It's like watching yourself die. That's what it felt like.
That was during the game.
During the game, I have the text.
It felt like
circled.
Yeah, it felt like watching yourself die in that arena. Basically, Nebraska, you have 98 points. Should have been 120 essentially, but they give 98 points.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, welcome back to the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben and Danny still here with you for about another half an hour. We're like halfway done. How's it been,
guys?
How's the first half of your first show?
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
See,
it's nice. It's nice to be here.
We sit here and we act like we know what we're talking about.
I don't. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been lying to you this whole time. I listen to talking heads on the radio all the time, and I'm like, man, I think their job's really hard. They know all these numbers and stuff, but most of the time, they're just talking to talk.
See, one thing I'm good at, and I know I'm good at, is yapping. So.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
That's why we're both good at yapping.
One thing you were yapping about during the break is just how good your sister's March Madness bracket is.
I don't even want to talk about it. My sister hasn't watched any basketball games outside of Nebraska. Her bracket, look. Her bracket is in the 99.9 percentile.
That's insane.
Her rank is 18,000.
That's insane.
Do you know there is millions and millions of brackets filled out?
18,000.
And she literally's gone. She doesn't have a single Elite 8 game wrong. She doesn't have a single Final Four game wrong. She doesn't have a single championship game wrong. Like she has everything still left up to the Elite 8.
Let's go.
No, and right now, let me look. I think she's got everything right. Yeah. She had Illinois over Iowa State, and she had Alabama over North Carolina. She had Clemson over Arizona.
And that's Ben's sister, ladies and gentlemen.
This is my sister. And you know what? I'm proud of her. She didn't do a random bracket. Like, she actually filled it out. Like, she took time, and she didn't just take 2 minutes to fill it out. Like, she actually filled it out and thought about it.
You know what I've learned what the perfect method is to fill a bracket out? First, you got to print it. And then you just write the name in of who wins. And then you just turn it into someone at the end of the tournament like, hey, I got a perfect bracket.
See,
give me my money.
All right, Danny. All right.
I would never do that. I'm a man of the people.
But no, it's actually crazy. She got UConn over San Diego State. Did she have every Sweet 16 game too? Wait.
While Ben tries to figure out
the only Sweet 16 game she didn't have was Kentucky and Nebraska.
Yeah, didn't have either of those.
Those are the only two. She got 14 of the 16 Sweet 16 games. Right?
Really impressive.
And she has all the Elite 8. And it's still, she's 3 for 3 on Elite 8 right now.
Wow.
Her bracket is so good. So she has script. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee and Alabama are going to be going to the national championship because this is what my sister's bracket says.
That'd be a crazy national championship.
It would
game.
be. I
Would be a
I would
crazy
be
game.
so excited if that was in that, bro.
Wow.
It'd be crazy.
Man, I feel like we would be watching like college football playoff national championship game over like the last 5 years.
Basketball. Tennessee gets
basketball.
Alabama. Yeah, she got.
Where is Georgia?
When's I think the last time their basketball team was even good was when they had Anthony Edwards.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, and that was COVID, so that kind of ruined that. But we just got a question on Facebook.
Shoot.
You guys think Vegas and Seattle are getting NBA teams? Random question, but you know what? I'm for it.
I like random questions.
I'm gonna say, probably not in the near future, but who knows? In like 2040, maybe. If I would think Seattle would probably get an NBA team before.
I think
Vegas,
I agree
because they've had one before.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want the Supersonics back, and I think
the Thunder in Oklahoma City. Like,
Vegas is very equipped to host a team, but that's the thing though. Like it's got to be its own franchise. Like Seattle can get away with rebranding a team as the Supersonics. Like the expansion franchise takes over the Supersonics. But like if you move a team to Vegas, like for argument's sake, let's just say the Charlotte Hornets go to Vegas,
which they should.
I don't know though if the community is going to embrace it, especially with what's going on with Oakland A's right now. It's ugly.
Yeah,
it's really bad. Speaking of which, we wanted to do a little baseball today. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a little baseball. It was opening day today. Yeah. It's my second favorite holiday of the year besides Christmas.
So, just real quick. So, do you think the NBA could even expand at all, or do you think they're going to keep their 30? I don't know. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with what the NBA system. I feel like the NFL would be more likely to get more teams than the NBA.
Before I answer that, Illinois just beat Iowa State 72-69. So we got a UConn, Illinois Elite Eight.
My sister 3 for 3.
Man. I think that 32, if you're going to expand, 32 makes sense.
It does.
But if you can only expand so much in pro sports. Like if you get too big, it doesn't like make any sense.
I don't know. I feel like the NBA,
because then it feels like it's a cash grab. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I feel like I feel like the NBA could probably pull it off better than NFL could.
I would agree.
There's so much talent in the NBA. I think NFL one's more likely just because they're trying to get a franchise in like a different country. Like NFL's already
they could probably pull it off, but you can only. I feel like in football you can only do so much because you're limited in your time, and there's so many stipulations when it comes to player safety now.
Yeah,
and people are still like trying to push for 18 games, which I think may be coming in the near future. I think 17 is good. I was never a big fan of the let's give one conference more home games than the other conference. I was kind of for like, oh, let's do the 8-8 and then one neutral site game. Like I thought that was kind of fun as like, you know, let's go travel to some CFL stadium in Canada. Like that'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool.
I think the NBA could get away with 32. I just don't really see a foreseeable way, unless you go to like 36, to get to like for continue to expand. Because if you're gonna go there, if you're gonna go past 32, especially in the NFL, you gotta scrap divisions at that point. Because if you're gonna expand from 32, the next thing up to keep divisions is 40, or you have to realign your divisions.
See, the NBA could do it because their division has like multiple teams. I feel like,
but for like NBA like conference for playoff standings, it's a 1 through 15 list.
Yeah, but then it'd just be 16.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you could get away with 32, but like 32 is kind of like a nice round number. I know 30 makes sense, 32 makes sense, but after that, like I feel like
You're
it gets
too
murky.
much then. But
yeah.
But we gotta get an MLB talk because
it's my favorite holiday.
It's your favorite holiday. See, it's not my favorite holiday. So
that's a shame.
So we're both Cubs fans.
Woo!
We'll admit it. We're not ashamed of it.
I'm not ashamed of it.
He openly is not ashamed of it.
I'm wearing this Shirt says Ben Zober struck out Yadi Molina. And I have, let's see.
I missed the good old days, man.
That was 2019 when that happened.
Bro, I missed the good old days. What happened?
Shout out Joe Obvious at Obvious Shirts, man. I love that guy. He's great.
Bro, I missed the good old days where we got, when it was 2016, what was I? Was I junior high in 2016? I don't even know. No, I think I was freshman. I don't even remember. 2016, we're watching the Cubs in the World Series. They made a 3-1 comeback. In the NBA, the Cavs made a 3-1 comeback.
It was not to be in Cleveland, unfortunately. Go 2 for 2.
Was that the what was the Super Bowl that year?
Ooh.
I want to know.
We're talking about February 2016, right?
This is 2016, yeah. Because 2016 was the greatest year of sports ever.
That was Super Bowl 50, Carolina and Denver.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good Super Bowl. We got to see why Cam Newton sucks as a quarterback. But yeah, man, I miss the good old days. See, that's when I thought baseball was like fun because the Cubs were good, and now the Cubs are just like okay.
They're on the come up.
They're on the come up, but like still, I can't get back in the MLB. I'm sorry.
Can we talk White Sox for a second?
We can. I'm not gonna be able to say much.
I know you're not gonna be able to say much. I just got to vent. First of all,
okay, Danny, I'm gonna give you. You got 5 minutes. I'm gonna start a timer. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Go.
I'm not gonna use all 5 minutes.
No, you get 5 minutes.
So I was picking and choosing, watching my baseball today, and I was watching a little White Sox, which is crazy, but I still did it anyway because I wanted to see how Garrett Crochet would do. Garrett Crochet was making his first MLB start on opening day, which I think is like the 9th time that's ever happened or something like that. But it was also his first start since sophomore year of college. It's been a while for him. And if you remember in the 2020 season, he got drafted in that really weird draft where baseball season basically was cut in half because the world came to an end, and then gets drafted by the White Sox and then gets called up and pitches for them in the second half of the season. Battled injuries. Now this team is like still not good. I think they're one of the better 100 loss teams, you could say they are. They're good at losing. We're going to play clean losing baseball. White Sox mantra maybe for this year. But then Garrett Crochet goes out and shoves for 6 innings. That was fun to watch. And like, I wouldn't go out of my way just to watch like White Sox baseball. But today I went out of my way.
I would never.
I went out of my way today to watch White Sox baseball because I wanted to see if he could actually do it. And following along to the White Sox all off season and seeing Michael Kopech go to the bullpen, failed starter, Andrew Chafin style, get in the t-shirt, and Garrett Crochet goes out opening day. Jason Benetti's in the other booth and goes out and throws 6 innings of 1-run ball. 89 pitches. People were only thinking he was going to throw 4, maybe 4 1/3, and then use the bullpen for the rest of the day. He went 6.
Okay.
But on the flip side, we knew that this offense was going to be bad. It's full of, I've been calling it the Chicago Royals. You look up and down the roster, who's on the White Sox and how many of them on the Royals, it's kind of stunning. And led by Chris Getz, a former Kansas City Royal, who is the GM. The White Sox are the only team on opening day to have no runs, no walks, and no extra base hits. And it was a 1-0 loss.
Wow.
And
what an exciting game.
Seriously, what an exciting game.
I'm being
The
sarcastic.
White Sox had three hits that day. 3 hits and 11 strikeouts. Now, wasn't any better for the Tigers. They also had 11 strikeouts. But the 1 run that they got scored by none other than Javi Baez. Sweet swinging Javi Baez.
Oh my bro, okay.
Who will swing at something coming from left field and is on its way into section 108 and will still swing and miss it.
Bro, I had, okay, if I'm, my first ever like shirt I had for like a Cubs player was John Lester.
I miss John Lester.
I do too. The guy that couldn't pick off a guy on first base.
Until
But still-
Tim McCarver said that he couldn't and went and threw the ball over to first base and got Tommy Pham.
Yeah, but he was a good
That was
pitcher.
a great moment.
But bro, Javi Baez, that was my favorite player outside of Lester. That was my favorite player on the Cubs roster. I loved Baez. He was so good.
I still have his jersey.
I don't care. I get Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo and like Zobrist. Those were the top guys. I like Dexter Fowler. I really liked him. But bro, Baez was just such a flashy player. I just like he was so fun to watch.
Speaking of Chris Bryant, you just reminded me of something. The Athletic wrote a really great piece about a month back about Chris Bryant and his decision to go to Colorado. If you have an Athletic subscription, I would highly recommend going and reading this. You really just have to type his name into the search bar and you'll find it. But it just goes into in depth about like how he like wanted to fall off the face of the earth and like wanted to go somewhere, go get his money, but didn't want to be the center of attention. Here's a guy that won the Golden Spikes Award, the minor league MVP, rookie of the year, and NL MVP in 4 straight years. Never happened before. And still went on to stardom. He went to the All-Star game the year he got traded to the Giants and now goes and signs with the Rockies of all people. I think that was a little bit baffling to just about everybody.
Yeah.
Like, really? The Rockies? I mean, they made the playoffs in 2018 in the wild card because they couldn't win the division. Excuse me. That was the year that we had 2 game 163s. It was Rockies, Dodgers, and Brewers, Cubs. Still remember where I was for that Brewers Cubs game. Oh, anyway, he was like the face of the franchise. Everyone wanted it. Everyone wanted his signature.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted like his jersey, and goes off to Colorado and just like disappears.
Yeah.
Gets hurt. Doesn't talk to the media.
It's sad. It's sad because
would highly recommend reading that article if you get the chance.
We'll finish this conversation. We got to throw it to break. We'll be right back. Wrap up this conversation next segment right here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Serve Nebraska Volunteer Service Commission was created to ensure that community service would always be a priority in our state. I'm Governor Jim Pillen, and this year I'm inviting you to help celebrate Serve Nebraska's 30th year by becoming a volunteer. Our state's best resource is its people. You have the potential to make a significant impact. Thank you.
Sponsored by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes.
My kid?
My kid
knows it's dangerous. 5.4 million American kids vape, and most think it's harmless. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. That's talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
I think about all the infrastructure that got built up behind the scenes by Coach Osborne, that Coach Solich took over, and then some of that infrastructure was eroded. Matt Rule still has to prove this, but I think Matt Rule's style is that, yeah, he'd like the infrastructure in place, but I think Matt Rule has the personality to do everything in his power to bend it to the way he wants it.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to The Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Quick last segment before we sign off for the night. I just want to wrap up the talk. You were talking about Chris Bryant, how he kind of just like dropped off the face of the MLB planet. You know, it's just, I miss 2016 Cubs, man. I miss it so much. When that team broke up, what year even was that when they like
2021?
Bro, that was the saddest year of all time. It was like we were just recovering from COVID. My Cubs, they just blew it up. It was so sad, man. I was like, it just, I haven't been able to get into Cubs baseball ever since because I just idolized every single player on that team, and now it's just like a completely new team.
I guess that's what I'm here for.
You gotta help me get there, Danny, because I still can't get over it. I would rather go back and watch games from 2016 than any Cubs game today. I
remember
that Cubs team so much.
Going to reopening weekend. It was like middle of June. They were playing the Cardinals and they swept them. And like, man, this feels like it's going to turn into something. Then they go Zach Davies, Ryan Tepera, Andrew Chafin, and Craig Kimbrell going through the combo no-hitter at Dodger Stadium. Leads to the 11-game losing streak. Highlighted by Jake Arrieta imploding against the Brewers. He had a 7-0 lead, and he gave up 9 runs in the bottom of the first inning.
Now I forgot Jake Arrieta. Oh my God,
man,
bro!
Prime Jake Arrieta was crazy.
One of the best pitchers in the league at that time.
You go to the trade deadline. I still remember where I was. I was touring the University of Alabama. We were down south, and we stopped at Bama because it was on the way. So we were like, okay, let's go check it out. And we're sitting in the student union. My mom and I are eating Subway, and we get all the blow up texts. ESPN is on, and we're seeing who's going to go where. I think at that point, Rizzo had already been dealt. Still waiting on Bryant, still waiting on Baez. And we're just sitting there what the heck is going on? Is this really happening? Like we couldn't believe it. We stayed up all night watching Game 7. We went to opening day 2017. The 2-hour rain delay was so worth it. And 40 degrees and rain pouring down on us. Game not starting until about 9:15 p.m. Central Time. Didn't matter. It was worth it to see that.
Yeah.
To see them emerging from the right field bullpen with the trophy being carried out was not going to forget it. You missed the glory days.
Bro, I remember, I'm pretty sure it wasn't my first MLB game, but the first MLB game that I went to that I actually watched the entire thing and cared, because I went to MLB games when I was really young, but I was young. I didn't really I wasn't actually really watching. I was kind of watching. But first game I remember actually really being invested in was, I believe, when the Pirates played, and it was 2016, the Cubs played the Pirates first round, I believe.
wild card game, the Jake Arrieta shutout.
Bro, no, it was what was his name? I remember it was I think it was the last game. It was for the sweep. What was his name? Oh my gosh, he had like a funny name, and he was like one of our backup pitchers from the bullpen. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what his name is. It was like, I can't think of it.
Is he a lefty or a righty?
I don't remember. That was back in 2016, Danny.
Okay.
Like his name, it was like Gromdom or something. Like something. It wasn't Gromdom, but like it like kind of rhymed.
Hector Rondon.
Rondon. That's what it is.
Wow, look at me go.
He had a. See, okay, I said Gromdon. It was kind of right. Rondon. Okay, I was kind of close.
We'll go with it,
bro. Rondon. He pitched the game. He like pitched last pitch, won the game for the Cubs. And I remember sitting next to Pirates fans, and I was like so happy because I was heckling them the entire time. It was so.
Oh man,
I miss 2016 so much, man.
You know, 2016 was great, but
no,
they're
great.
they're trying to run it back, and
nope.
you know.
Nothing will defeat 2016. Nothing. As a Cubs fan, nothing will defeat.
No, I'm with you, but eventually they're gonna have to have another team. I'm not able to wait another 108 years, man.
Bro, I mean, I've accepted the fact that I'm never gonna see the Cubs win a World Series.
Just again. 2 before I die.
No, I've accepted that it's already done. It's gonna be another 107 years.
Where's Coach Wani? We need him to get in here.
Man, I miss the glory days of Cubs baseball back in 2016.
Get me Joe Madden.
Get me Joe. Well, thank you for listening into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Danny, glad we were able to get you on the show. Hopefully we can get you on a show again.
I'd love to be back.
It was great having you, Danny.
Well, thank you.
First time being on the show. You did great, Danny.
And now you get to know all my stupidity, so...
No. See, you act like you know what you're talking about. That's all that matters.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just like sounding confident.
You can't say that, Danny. You can't say that. Again, thank you for listening. We'll be right back here next week, Monday, same time, 11 to 12. Until then, peace.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential career